So I've got a real unusual item this week, and they're not easy to find anymore. When I was a nipper, you know, an ankle biter, you'd see all this sort of stuff hanging around the stable, and the old fellas, you know, when I was a kid, they knew what these things were. They kept them out and they'd use them occasionally. So many things that have gone by and that you don't see anymore. I mean, it's not that many years ago I saw some clippers. It was actually a bicycle. So you pedalled the bike and it drove the clippers for us, you know. Of course, back that time I never valued it, never thought, you know, and it was thrown out in the junk. Probably the rag and bone men took it away, you know, which is such a shame. Well, the same as a strimmer or a whacker, they call them in America. You know, the cable going down spins round. Or the same thing, you pedalled the bike and drove the clippers. Like, you know, so you got one fella pedalling away and the other fella doing the clipping. So, anyway, today I've got something really unusual for you. So, this was be more, I would think, in a commercial setting as opposed to a private stable. So I've just got an unusual item here to show you. So if I bring it up here, I wonder if anyone knows what this is. Some people would. I think it looks almost like a little saddle, doesn't it? You know? But very unusual. I see several of these. I can't think where. When I was, you know, an ankle biter, a little lad, I used to be out with the lads with their horses all the time. I loved it. And going around with a rag and bone men. And on a Sunday morning, I used to go with a fella. We'd go and have he'd go and have a pint, and I'd have you know, an arrowroot biscuit and a bottle of pop sat outside on the trolley. But we'd call round and see some folk and have a chat. You know, we'd be out the yard by about 8:30. We'd go round with a trolley, go round and see a few other lads. One in an old terraced houses in London, where you walk straight out onto the pavement. There was an archway, and never forget it. I drove in the archway there, and I looked up at this big tall building at the back, and there's a horse looking down at me up on the second floor. You know, 3 high it was, yeah, up on the second floor. So because land was so expensive, there was a stable there, and there was 2 horses downstairs, and above them, up a concrete ramp, went up, and there was 2 more floors, 3 at the top and 3 on the middle level. Yeah. And that was just out the back of some terraced houses. Always remember that as a little child, yeah. Little ankle biter, sat on a trolley going in there, and, you know, just had enough room to turn the trolley round. Your pony would know his job. He'd go in, turn around, back it back a bit, do a 3-point turn, ready to come out. There'd be other trolleys in there stored, or might be a baker or a milkman, local milkman, keep his horses there. So anyway, I'll see them in this situation, but I wonder if you've been looking at it for a minute or two now, whether you could decide what it could possibly be used for. I'll turn it over that way. 2 little straps on it. So I'll bring this up now and we'll just see. Just drink my tea. So got a nice collar here. It's not a trade collar, it's a lightweight collar, more for trap type work, you know. Hasn't got a great big body on it, but there you are, that's the collar. Well, what this was for was, if the collar was too big and you didn't have another collar, that's when you use this. So we would fit this in here and reduce the collar. Now this one, unfortunately, has been bent, and I don't want to bend it straight just to prove a point. But it would have been a little wider across here. I am going to get it done by someone who can do it without damaging it, you know. But that's what it does. It takes off 2 inches off of the collar. So when I put that up there, you can see, you know, it takes off 2 inches of the collar here. If I take that away, you can see there, and I'll put that in, and you can see up there like that. Let's just move that strap. Up. And if I turn it around that way, you can see. So that would sit on. Now the shoulders here are just in a little bit, tiny little bit, but it's where it's been squashed. But it would have been out there a little more. So that's what it was for. Rare in this day and age. I haven't seen one for years. You know, all the old stables are gone now, or virtually. So, well, they have gone. I don't know of any old stables. Literally, you could walk a mile and find 10 stables for different jobs, you know, different things when I was a little ankle biter, as I say. But that's what it is. And they were zinc plated. Now, that was for a reason. It could have been made out of brass, copper, anything, couldn't it? You know, it doesn't take any weight as such. It's just the shape you want to achieve. But they do that because they said if all said a gall or a sore on its neck or something like that, this certainly wouldn't make it any worse, because zinc, you know, you've heard of zinc and castor oil, and they say, that's what they say. I have no way of knowing whether that's right, but that's what they say, that's why they were made like this, and then like a tin plate and then zinc coated, was to protect the horse. So if it had any marks or anything on its neck due to the collar, where it hadn't been fitting properly, then they'd put this on, and obviously add a bit of cream of some sort, but the zinc there would stop it infecting. And that's what I'm told. I've no way of saying whether that's only what I was told as a youngster. But in lovely condition, but just should be this way. It's been squashed a little bit like that. You can see a kink in it here, which is a shame really. But it looks just like a little saddle, doesn't it? When you look at it like that, you'd think, oh, what is that, you know? But that's what it's for. Just put that back again and show you. So slip it up there, like that. Push it up into place. Yep. Also, what a fella told me, they would put a small piece of sponges, have been around for a long, long time, and they'd have some sponge, and they'd wrap the sponge into a piece of cloth. There was always, in every stable I was ever at, there was always rag. There was always somewhere hanging rags, like tea towels, that sort of size. Used a lot for wiping, cleaning harness. They'd wash them out and hang them up. They'd put them over horses, all sorts. And they'd fold one up, and then they could bring it down a little more again to that position, where it still would be, you know, do its job. So you could take it up there. That's already 2 inches. You could bring it down and make it 3, and still use the same collar. So that was its purpose. And the little straps would go over. If I lay this down, just put one through so you can see. Where this is, you know, it's been bent, it's awkward to get in, so if I just put that through there, might be able to see better, and then bring it up, yeah, and that would hold it in place while you was using it. So zinc plated collar reducer, that's what I know it to be called. No doubt there's other names for it. They still use them in the army, and they use them on the yoke on an army set of harness. Still use them, and normally the army ones are stamped. I'm going to look at a name on this one. Everything used to have a name on it and a date, you know, back in the day. So there you have it. I think that's quite an interesting little thing. Quite often when I do this, someone will say, I've got one of those. I've had one of those for years. My granddad had one. I kept it, didn't know what it was, you know, and that's lovely, isn't it? It's, you know, to keep these things going. But it's a beautiful old thing, that is. Lovely. And skillfully made as well. I would imagine that they were stamped out, but I don't know. Was there enough of them that was required to make a press to make these? I don't know, but certainly was in different sizes. You can get some that are quite big, you know, for a shire horse that come out, you know, much, much bigger to go on that sort of collar. But this one's made for this, more or less this size of collar. Okay.